Do you like dread, my friends? How about despair? Could I interest you in just a dash of atmospheric melancholy disquietude? If you answered yes to any or all of those questions, then boy oh boy, do I have a movie for you. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jake, the Scary Story Guy, and today we're talking about Robert Eggers' debut film, The Witch. It's a common misconception that this film is called The Witch, but as you can clearly see on the poster, it is, in fact, The Witch. And now you've learned something, so I'm assuming you're rushing to like this video in gratitude, and please subscribe to my channel if you would enjoy more searing insights just like that. So The Witch is subtitled A New England Folktale, and it's about a family who gets banished from their community of 1630s Puritans for, get this, being too intense about their religion, which is sort of the equivalent of getting kicked out of Italy because you love pasta too much. So they basically just wander into nature and try and scrape out a life for themselves, but mysterious and possibly sinister forces begin to slowly unravel the fabric of their family. And The Witch isn't just Robert Eggers' debut film, this is also the first time we meet one Anya Taylor-Joy, who has since become an A-list actress, and I'll just say it, one of the great horror actresses of all time. She plays Thomasin, the teenage daughter of this family. Ralph Ineson plays the father, and I've got to be honest, guys, these are two of the best performances I have ever seen in a horror film. Ineson's voice, I mean, we got to talk about it. This is one of the coolest voices I've ever heard. The man really struggles to fend for himself out in the woods, provide for his family, hunt food, all that. He kind of sucks at it, but you'd never know it by listening to him. You hear him talking, you just instantly assume, like, oh man, this dude knows the secrets of the earth. But no, he's actually just kind of okay at chopping wood, and this dude is an absolute psycho. I mean, can you imagine how whacked out you have to be for the Puritans to be like, maybe take it down a couple notches, bro. This is too far for us. Almost everything he says to his family, to his children, is scripture, and not even the nice scriptures usually. A gentle Jesus, meek and mild, does not really play a starring role in his conception of the universe. This is pure 1600s Calvinism, right? God is harsh, everything is sinful. There's a very real chance that babies who have died without being baptized are being tortured in hell as we speak. And you can imagine the effect this sort of worldview has on his kids, his wife, who's basically just another kid. She's totally useless in this movie. Everyone in this family is just living in sheer terror from sunup to sundown, constantly turning to God and to scripture to like ease this pain that they're feeling, when in reality the best thing any of them could do for their mental health would probably be to take a big step back from it. And that's the thing that this movie captures so incredibly, probably better than any movie dealing with religious themes that I've ever seen. These ideas are just so real to this family. I mean, the wrath of God and Satan and witchcraft, they're all every bit as real to this family as the sky and the dirt and the trees and their rotting crop of corn. So Thomasin, the daughter, is probably the most psychologically well-adjusted of the bunch. She's very, meek and pious and doing everything she should be doing, but you can tell that buried under there's just a normal teenage girl. And you feel bad because this girl just never really has a chance to be happy. Her mom obviously hates her, is blaming her for everything that's going wrong. And speaking of great performances, by the way, Dickie plays the mom here, and some people are just born to play crazy moms. I don't know what else to say. You might remember Kate as the absolutely batshit crazy Aunt Lysa from Game of Thrones, which, if you thought those breastfeeding scenes were uncomfortable, just you wait. Now, I have really nothing but good to say about this movie, but I do need to add a disclaimer here, which is that a lot of people aren't going to like it. It is not the most accessible film. The dialogue is just straight up, early 1600s, uneducated farmers. It's a really impressive and authentic script, but you're gonna need the subtitles. Add to that the fact that this is a very slow-moving film, and it's also in parts an incredibly weird film. I personally think it's perfect, I wouldn't change a thing, but you're gonna find a lot of people put off by that. Even for myself, this has taken 3 viewings to, I think, fully appreciate, and I tend to have a taste for this sort of thing, because the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, that was good, maybe a little weird for my taste. The second time I saw it, I liked it a lot more, and now I'm just convinced that this is a modern masterpiece. But all this to say, it definitely does require more patience and open-mindedness than most horror films. I personally think it's one of the scariest movies I've seen as well, although I do sometimes find that what I find scary isn't always what most people find scary. I feel like I'm very atmosphere-based and psychological tension. That's what really freaks me out, and this movie has that in spades. This is one of the most meticulously crafted and suspenseful atmospheres. I mean, the trees, the everything around this family is just oozing malice, you feel like. It may actually be the best atmosphere I've seen in a horror movie ever. And I know I'm just full of superlatives today, but this movie really does earn them. The Witch is nothing less, I think, than one of the greatest horror movies ever made. Eggers' direction is just so precise throughout. Every line is so carefully considered. Every shot just gets perfectly the reaction that he wants from the viewer. It's genuinely unsettling in a way that really few movies are. The whole thing is just kind of permeated with dread and evil, and perhaps worst of all, solitude. The dialogue, costuming, lighting, it's all just flawless. You really feel like you're in this. I'm not an expert on this time period, but I would imagine this has got to be one of the most like authentic movies ever made. And these performances are just out of this world good. I mean, this being Anya's first movie is honestly insane. Like, she was great in Split, she was great in Last Night in Soho, she was great in The Menu, she was great in Marrowbone. We'll even get a little more obscure with it. But the first performance of her career is, in my view, unquestionably the best. And Ralph Ineson, Kate Dickie, you'll never find more terrifying parents. Guys, I really just can't say enough good about The Witch. Not only is it my second favorite movie of 2015 now, behind Ex Machina, but it may be the best horror movie of the last decade. I don't know if I can say that definitively, but it's up there, right? Hereditary's up there, Midsummer's up there, the Babadook is up there, but man, The Witch is a masterpiece. I'm sure you've all been waiting in suspense for this rating, but I've just got to come right out and say it. I'm giving The Witch 5 stars out of 5. Watch The Vivitch, guys. Live deliciously. I will add briefly before I go, Robert Eggers is coming out with another movie later this year, another offering in the horror genre called Nosferatu. I'm very excited about that. Everything this guy does is so interesting. The Lighthouse, The Northman, both frankly excellent films. I just can't wait to see what he does next. So stay tuned for more spooky content coming soon. I'll of course be reviewing that later this year and plenty of other horror books, movies in the meantime. But until then, thank you for watching this video, and here's hoping you survive to see the next one.